What are isometric exercises and why do they work? Imagine a workout with no jumping, no counting reps, and no impact. Just you, your body, and a sustained contraction over time. This invisible and almost silent tension builds strength from the inside out. That's an isometric exercise. Unlike traditional training where you're constantly moving, here, the muscle works without joint movement. No flexion or extension. There's no visible motion, only a posture held with determination, while internally everything operates intensely. Why do they work so well? By holding a fixed position, the muscles are forced to generate continuous and deep tension. It's this tension that activates fibers that are rarely used in fast or superficial movements. Slow twitch fibers stand out. They're essential for postural stability and muscular endurance. And when the intensity is high, high-threshold fibers are also engaged, which boosts the body's ability to generate real strength. While other methods create peaks of tension followed by relief, isometrics maintain the load without pause. The body adapts by increasing neuromuscular coordination, refining motor control, and improving the functional stiffness of tendons and ligaments. Science backs it up. Evidence published in sports medicine and physical therapy shows gains in maximum strength in short periods when isometric exercises are performed with appropriate intensity and time under tension. It also improves joint control and core stability. Sustained muscular contraction creates mechanical stimulation in bones and contributes to bone mineral density, crucial for reducing fracture risk later in life. Joint impact is low, making this method safe for people who need to protect their knees, hips, and spine. Correcting muscular imbalances also becomes easier since you can align your posture, recruit deep muscle layers, and eliminate compensations that over time cause pain. There's also a powerful mental component. Isometric training builds focus, active patience, the ability to breathe under pressure, and perseverance. Holding a challenging posture teaches you to resist in a smart way, and this transfers to daily life when you need to stay calm, aligned, and strong in the face of challenges. That's why it's an excellent choice for beginners who fear injury, for those with little time or no access to a gym, for older adults seeking balance and functional strength, and for anyone looking for a smarter, safer, and deeper way to train at home. The plank is the silent fire of your abdomen. It seems simple. Elbows on the floor, body aligned and holding. In that stillness, an internal storm of strength ignites. The isometric plank trains the entire core, not just the abs you see in the mirror. It activates the deep structure that stabilizes the spine, balances the body, and protects every step you take. When properly executed, it fires up the transverse abdominis, multifidus along the spine, obliques, serratus anterior, lats, and glutes, creating a muscular belt that reduces stress on the lower back and improves force transfer to the arms and legs. The technique begins with skeletal alignment. Place your forearms parallel on the floor, keep your shoulders low and long, your neck aligned, and your gaze down. Gently pull your elbows back against the floor as if trying to wrinkle the mat, and push your shoulder blades forward without shrugging your traps. Bring your ribs and pelvis together as if drawing your sternum toward your navel, keeping your spine neutral without letting your lower back sag. Firmly activate your glutes, push your heels back, and keep your legs long. Breathe through your nose, exhale slowly, and feel your abdomen expand sideways, creating internal pressure that stabilizes your trunk. This coordinated breathing helps avoid unnecessary spikes in blood pressure and allows you to hold the position longer. Progress intelligently. For beginners, start with 15 to 20 seconds for 3 to 5 reps, with short breaks and absolute focus on technique. Progress to 30 to 45 seconds once your posture is solid. If needed, reduce the leverage by placing your knees on the floor or elevating your forearms on a surface. Once you've mastered the basics, increase the difficulty by slightly moving your elbows forward while maintaining alignment and core compression, or try the plank variation with maximum coactivation, where you intentionally generate more force against the floor without moving your body. This amplifies recruitment and creates a powerful strength stimulus. Another valuable progression is the controlled reach plank, where one hand lifts off the floor for a second and returns, keeping the pelvis stable, reinforcing anti-rotation stability. Avoid common mistakes. Don't let your lower back sag, don't lift your hips too high, don't hold your breath, don't look forward and create neck tension, and don't shrug your shoulders toward your ears. If you feel sharp discomfort in your lower back, shorten the leverage, increase glute activation, and check your joint stacking. If you have a history of uncontrolled high blood pressure, keep breathing continuously and work with shorter durations and more sets, always monitoring your body's response. A well-trained plank delivers benefits you can feel in everyday life. When getting up from a chair, your spine aligns with less effort. When carrying bags, your torso remains stable and the load doesn't strain your lower back. On uneven surfaces, a stable core reduces wobbling and protects your knees and ankles. For those who sit for long hours, strengthening the deep core belt reduces stiffness and the sensation of heaviness in the back at the end of the day. To maximize results, combine plank variations at different angles throughout the week. Include one with elevated forearms to reinforce postural awareness, one with a long base to improve leverage, and one with maximum coactivation for controlled tension peaks. The principle is simple. Vary the difficulty, maintain technique, and accumulate enough weekly time under tension to trigger adaptations. A practical goal for most people is to total 90 to 120 seconds of plank per session, divided into solid and consistent sets. When you get into plank position and start holding it, you activate the transverse abdomen as like a natural deep band, recruit the obliques that provide lateral stability, wake up the erector spinae that keeps your posture upright, and engage glutes and shoulders that work together as a support network. Everything contracts and works in unison without a single visible movement. That's what makes it so effective. 20 seconds of a well-executed plank can generate more useful activation than 50 poorly performed crunches, because here there's no momentum or swinging, just you and your inner strength holding with discipline. Technique is everything. The most common mistakes are raising the glutes too high, shifting the effort to the shoulders, and taking the stimulus away from the abs, and letting the pelvis drop, compressing the lower back, and increasing the risk of injury. The correct way is to create a straight line from your heels to your head, with firm abs, active glutes, and shoulders stacked over the elbows like a steel board, strong, stable, and unbreakable. Breathing is vital. Inhale slowly and exhale even more slowly. Now comes one that completely transforms your back, your glutes, and your posture. The glute bridge reactivates the posterior chain. Imagine your body is a building and your glutes are the foundation. When those foundations are weak, everything loses stability. Your spine hurts, your knees suffer, and your posture gradually collapses. In modern life, glutes are more inactive than ever. Many hours of sitting, inactive muscles, and altered movement patterns. The result is chronic pain, fatigue while walking, and progressive loss of strength. The glute bridge wakes up what was dormant. Though it appears simple, it's a biomechanical gem. It recruits the gluteus maximus, the largest and often neglected muscle, activates the hamstrings that power your stride, integrates the erector spinae that support the spinal axis, and engages the transverse abdominis to protect the core from within. You need nothing but your own body, a firm surface, and the decision to lift yourself, literally and metaphorically. Lie on your back, bend your knees, plant your feet firmly, and lift your pelvis to form a straight line from your knees to your shoulders. It's not about going up and down, it's about lifting and holding. When you hold the contraction for 20 to 30 seconds, something powerful happens. From here, details emerge that separate a basic bridge from a truly transformative one. Push the floor with your heels as if trying to drag them toward your glutes. This fires the glutes even more and reduces the chance of hamstring cramps. Imagine gently tucking your pelvis and bringing your ribs down, which stabilizes the lower back and directs the load to the target muscle. Keep your knees aligned with your feet, not too wide and not collapsing inward, to engage the gluteus medius and protect the knee ligaments. Distribute weight across the entire foot, with a slight emphasis on the heel, without letting your toes lift, ensuring secure leverage. Breathe continuously, expanding the sides of your abdomen with each inhale and exhaling slowly to consolidate the pressure that stabilizes the spine. Progress methodically. For beginners, 2 to 3 sets of 20 seconds with short rests already produce effects. Then advance to 3 to 5 sets of 30 to 40 seconds. Once you master the basics, try the long lever bridge by moving your feet a few centimeters farther away to increase the moment arm and the challenge without losing the trunk line. In people with sedentary lifestyles, a well-executed bridge improves the spine's tolerance to static load and reduces stiffness at the end of the day. In those with patellofemoral pain, focusing on the gluteus medius and maximus decreases the anterior load on the knee and improves walking mechanics. For older adults, the isometric hold in the bridge promotes hip extension strength, which is crucial for standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, and preventing falls. Clinical practice reviews in physical therapy report that isometric protocols for glutes and core reduce lower back pain and improve daily function when applied with consistent weekly frequency and progressive time under tension. Structuring your training makes progress predictable. Combine the plank and bridge in the same session, alternating sets to avoid fatiguing the lower back and to maintain flawless technique. An efficient session can total 90 to 120 seconds of plank, and the same for the bridge, distributed in solid sets. On high-energy days, include a set of maximum co-activation, where you intentionally produce more force into the floor without changing your position. On recovery days, maintain moderate durations with full focus on breathing and alignment. This combo improves posture, supports the knees, relieves pressure from the shoulders, and prepares the body for upcoming isometric exercises with a stable, powerful platform. Choose the right variation, respect the progression, breathe with purpose, and take note of how you feel after each session. The body responds quickly when it receives proper tension, enough time, and precise technique. This is how active stillness stops being just a concept and becomes a tangible result in your daily life. The body remembers how to move the right way. The glutes fire up again, the spine loosens, and posture corrects itself from the root. In sedentary individuals, this exercise is vital because it reorganizes movement patterns, reduces stress on the knees and lower back in daily tasks, and restores the missing sense of internal support. Doing bridges regularly improves walking, stair climbing, and standing up from a chair. It's not just aesthetics, it's a silent, powerful rehabilitation of the muscular system. For older adults, it's a golden tool. The impact is low, the practice is easily adaptable, and the results show up with consistency, good technique, and the desire to regain control over one's body. Do it with mindful breathing. The isometric hang. There's a moment when you hang from the bar and everything becomes still. Gravity pulls, you resist, your hands lock in, and your spine breathes. The simple act of holding your body in the air may look like nothing from the outside, but inside, a muscular and structural revolution takes place. The hang immediately activates the forearms and grip strength, engages the lats and trapezius that support the upper back, recruits deltoids and rhomboids to align the shoulders, and most surprisingly, wakes up the deep core to stabilize the pelvis and prevent swinging. The bonus? Spinal decompression. Throughout the day, gravity compresses your vertebrae and discs. When you hang, the space between spinal segments increases, tissues relieve pressure, and many people report an immediate reduction in neck and lower back heaviness. In clinical practice, physical therapists use decompression variations to ease symptoms related to herniated discs and sciatica when properly prescribed and dosed. Another benefit goes beyond the spine. Grip strength is linked to physical performance and overall health. Cohort studies like those from the UK Biobank associate stronger hands with a lower risk of disability and mortality, making the hang a smart ally for functional longevity without relying on complex equipment. Simple and precise technique. Start with an overhand grip at shoulder width. Reach for the bar, close your fingers firmly, and wrap your thumb over for a secure lock. Draw your shoulder blades down and outward as if pulling them away from your ears. Keep your neck long, ribs aligned over your pelvis, and your core engaged. Gently pull the bar downward using only your shoulders, without bending your elbows, to create an active hang that protects the shoulder joint and distributes the load. Avoid letting your body swing. Add light tension in your glutes, keep your legs long and your feet either together or crossed. Breathe through your nose and exhale slowly. This breathing stabilizes your trunk and reduces internal pressure spikes. Progress safely. Start with sets of 10 to 15 seconds and accumulate 45 to 90 seconds per session, alternating attempts with generous rest periods. Once the foundation is solid, increase to 20 to 30 seconds per set. To develop scapular control, practice active hanging. Move up and down just a few millimeters using only your shoulder blades without bending your arms. Then, introduce controlled scapular shrugs while keeping the pelvis stable and the head aligned. Vary your grip. A neutral grip on parallel bars is often more shoulder-friendly. Using a towel over the bar or a thicker bar trains the forearms intensely and improves grip endurance. Avoid using chalk at home if the bar is smooth. Instead, lightly sand the surface or use proper grip bands to avoid slipping. If you can't yet hold your full body weight, start with partial unloading. Rest your toes on a bench to take off some of the weight, or use resistance bands attached to the bar for assistance. Another alternative is hanging under a sturdy table while holding the edge, with your feet on the floor and your torso aligned. The rule is zero sharp discomfort and total body control. For advanced practitioners with perfect technique, progressions include assisted one-arm hangs, weight shifts between hands every 2 seconds, knee raises to reinforce the core, and the hollow body hang that integrates the entire anterior chain. Only move on when the basic hang is solid and comfortable. The science behind the relief. Gentle axial traction helps hydrate the discs by briefly reducing local pressure, and many patients report reduced discomfort after short sets. Physical therapy reviews describe the clinical usefulness of decompression strategies as part of a plan that includes strengthening and postural education. The connection between grip strength and health has been observed in large population databases, and meta-analyses reinforce its association with longevity outcomes. This evidence doesn't replace individual assessment, but it shows that training your grip with quality is a smart investment in long-term functionality. The message is clear. Isometric hanging strengthens your hands, organizes your shoulders, gives space to your spine, and trains your mind to stay present under tension. Start small, breathe calmly, keep your body aligned, and progress with method. In just a few weeks, combining the glute bridge with the hang builds a foundation that supports posture, protects joints, and boosts confidence. It's the kind of strength that makes no noise but changes the way you inhabit your body. Now that you've awakened your core, reactivated your posterior chain, and given your spine space, it's time to challenge your mind and legs with one of the most demanding exercises for developing real resilience. The wall sit, the invisible chair that builds strength. Imagine sitting on a chair that doesn't exist. Your legs shake, your muscles burn, and time seems to slow down. But you stay there because in this silent effort, you're forging a new version of yourself. The wall sit is simple and brutally effective. Lean your back against the wall, lower yourself as if to sit, and stay still. Thighs parallel to the floor, knees at a 90-degree angle, feet grounded, and your mind focused. There's no movement, but there is fire, a fire that lights up your entire lower body, quads responsible for every step, glutes that drive with power, hamstrings that balance and support. The core holds the upright posture like a steel pillar. In 30 seconds, you'll feel more effective muscle activation than in many dynamic sets. Because here, there's no momentum, only you, your body, and the decision not to give in. This goes beyond muscle. This is about health. Biomechanical research shows high engagement of quadriceps fibers, especially the vastus medialis and rectus femoris, which are key for climbing stairs, standing up from a chair, and stabilizing the knee. There's also a valuable effect on blood pressure when the protocol is well designed and repeated consistently over weeks, with reports of improved vascular tone and autonomic response. To execute it with mastery, place your feet hip-width apart with a slight natural outward rotation. Feel 3 points of contact on each foot: the base of the big toe, base of the pinky toe, and the heel. Slide your back down the wall until your knees form a right angle without your knees passing too far over your toes. Keep your pelvis neutral and your rib cage stacked over your pelvis. Activate the glutes by pushing into the floor. Imagine trying to split the ground with your feet to engage the abductors and protect the knees. Breathe through your nose and exhale slowly, expanding your abdomen laterally to create internal pressure that stabilizes the lower back. Progress methodically. Beginners can start with 3 to 4 sets of 20 seconds, with generous rest, then advance to 30 and eventually 60 seconds. Once your foundation is solid, hold a block between your knees to reinforce the vastus medialis, or push outward against a resistance band to activate the gluteus medius and reduce dynamic knee valgus. To increase stimulus density without impact, try the technique of maximum co-activation for short intervals within the set, intensifying your intent to push into the ground without changing your position, then returning to a moderate effort. If you feel anterior knee discomfort, rise a few centimeters and re-establish alignment, because a smaller, well-controlled range is more valuable than deep depth without control. Let's move on to push-ups. Place your hands on the floor, align your body like a plank, and slowly lower yourself until your elbows reach a 90-degree angle. Stop there and let time slow down. Your chest floats, your arms tremble, your abdomen contracts like steel, and every second of resistance transforms your entire body. This exercise activates the major and minor pectorals to push with power, the anterior deltoid to lift and support, the triceps brachii to extend the elbow, and most importantly, the deep core that keeps the body balanced from head to toe. The glutes stabilize the pelvis, the spinal erectors support the spine, and the neck muscles prevent the head from dropping. It's a full-body workout. For perfect technique, gently rotate your hands outward against the floor as if screwing them into the ground. This engages the shoulder's external rotators and protects the anterior capsule. Reach your shoulder blades forward without shrugging your neck. Connect your ribs to your pelvis. Keep your glutes firm and push your heels back. For progression, use an incline by placing your hands on a bench or wall if the floor version feels too heavy. Reduce the leverage while preserving alignment. Build sets of 15 to 30 seconds and progress to 45 and 60 as your technique holds. If your wrists complain, use push-up bars or stable dumbbells to keep a neutral wrist. For a greater challenge with control, try an isometric pause in the lower third of the movement for a few seconds. Return to halfway and hold again, creating steps of tension that boost your ability to generate force without explosive reps. This type of isometric training teaches your nervous system to recruit fibers with precision, improves useful tendon stiffness, and optimizes force transfer when pushing doors, getting up from the ground, or carrying daily loads. The mind learns to breathe through effort, organize the body from within, and remain calm when everything shakes. This self-control carries over into work, relationships, and tough decisions. Because those who can hold their own weight with awareness are better equipped to hold the weight of life. To finish the circuit with a powerful emphasis on posture and extension, we introduce the Isometric Superman. The strength lies in the back. There's a structure behind you that supports everything, a base that maintains balance, posture, and freedom of movement. Lie face down, extend your arms forward and legs back, and with focus lift your arms, chest, and thighs a few inches off the ground at the same time. At that moment, your spinal extensors engage, the lower back gains support, the gluteus maximus awakens, and the pelvic and scapular stabilizers refine alignment. To perform it safely, imagine someone pulling your hands forward and your feet backward, creating length before height. Keep your chin slightly tucked and eyes on the ground. Avoid excessive lower back arching. Hold for 15 to 30 seconds, breathe calmly, and repeat 3 to 5 times. If you experience lower back sensitivity, use the alternating variation, lifting your right arm and left leg, then switching sides, known as the bird dog on the floor. This keeps the stimulus with less leverage. For those who spend hours sitting, strengthening the extensors reduces the risk of lower back pain and improves the ability to keep the head aligned and the rib cage stacked over the pelvis. This practice is accessible to everyone. It requires no machines, no impact, just your body and the decision to lift yourself with control. To integrate the 6 exercises into a cohesive routine, organize blocks with total time under tension between 60 and 120 seconds per exercise, distributed into solid sets, and repeat them 2 to 4 times per week. On strong days, include a short set of maximum coactivation in the middle of the block, always with continuous breathing. On recovery days, reduce the duration and prioritize technical precision. Log how you felt and which variations worked best. Self-observation speeds up progress. Remember, you don't need to advance quickly to advance correctly. The goal is to accumulate consistent weeks where your body receives proper tension, enough time, and internal organization. The result is visible in the mirror, and more importantly, in daily life. Walking becomes lighter. Standing up from a chair becomes easier. Carrying weight no longer strains your neck or lower back. And sleep improves because the body rests in alignment. Today, you didn't just learn 6 exercises. You discovered something more valuable than any noisy gym routine. Strength doesn't come from what you lift, but from what you can sustain. With every second of held posture, every controlled tremor, every long exhale, muscle and willpower grew together. Now you know that you don't need weights to change your body. You don't need machines or massive spaces. You need decision, commitment, and consistency. Isometric exercises don't shout, don't make noise, but they transform you from the inside out, changing how you move, support yourself, and face the world. Today, your core awakened, your glutes reignited, your spine gained space, and your legs, arms, and back became more confident. Most importantly, your mind trained presence under pressure. On this journey, victory doesn't belong to the one who moves the most, but to the one who knows how to hold on when the body wants to quit, and you just proved that. If this content lit something inside you, and it's time to take control of your health and transform your body from the inside out, share it with someone who needs to start, and tell them which exercise challenged you the most and which one became your favorite. It doesn't matter your age or current level, you can always begin from where you are. If you want to go further, seek complete guidance with detailed routines to train at home and build a strong, defined, and functional body from scratch. Start today. Your body and health will thank you. And never forget a simple truth. You don't always need to move to make progress. Often the greatest power lies in knowing how to hold on.